Never thought we'd be making this video.
Really crap the bed.
I don't know what led us to this moment. Like how did we fall so far?
We wanted to formally address what we've been seeing, what you no doubt have seen as well on social media. In the last episode of Good Chill Hunting, we neglected to talk about Solo, a Star Wars story. We know that is the backbone of this podcast. We know that is what the fans tune in for. And we failed to acknowledge that.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to point fingers, but how did we get to this point?
How did we get to this point?
We know that this is a transgression that cannot be just swept under the rug. Be strong.
I'm trying. It's so hard.
And so we've talked about it as a podcast team. We know that it's time to throw in the towel.
Don't.
It's time. It's time to throw in the towel.
It's time.
We could try again.
We've had a good run.
No.
We did 10 episodes, but it's done. So that's it.
No.
I'm calling it. We're giving up. We're stopping. This is the end of Good Chill Hunting podcast.
No.
What?
Stop.
What's happening? What?
What is going on right now?
I don't know.
You guys have come too far to stop this beautiful thing you've created. Your love for movies will never, ever be taken for granted by anyone. You know, we might have made some mistakes along the way. That's not any reason to stop now.
But
you have to keep going until the end of time, the end of your days.
It would be so much easier just to give up.
It would, Noah. But would that be the right thing to do?
You're saying that we need to keep going despite a setback?
You have to keep going. No matter against, all the allegations, all the odds, you have to keep pushing forward.
Most of those are on Riley anyway.
I could probably count on one hand the number of mistakes I've made. From Riley's mistakes, you're counting toes at that point.
Guys, this is supposed to be uplifting, not bringing me down.
Uplifted.
I'm feeling pretty.
Hey,
Lucas, thank you so much.
Thank you for those words of encourament.
That's what we needed to hear.
Are you guys going to keep going?
Yeah.
I think we're going to keep going.
I guess.
You want to stick around for the podcast?
That would be great. I would love that.
Okay.
4-man operation.
Cool.
And
Whee!
just like that, welcome back to the Good Chill Hunting podcast. How do you like them apples? We are in episode 11 with a very special guest star, and our very first guest star, Lucas, who is a lifelong friend of all of ours.
Let's go.
He was in town, and we said, "You want to join us for the pod?"
And I said, heck yeah.
Well, thank you.
Been waiting for this invitation.
I'll see if I can pencil you in.
Very excited to have you.
Yeah.
Have you on the episode.
Unfortunately, we neglected to pick up a fourth mic, one of these mics. So Lucas is going to be utilizing the Yeti mic. So it might sound like he's talking through a tin can for the episode. So bear with us on that. Real quick, we'll do a little speed round of what we're watching. Riley, if you'd like to start us off.
So we all watched the three of us watched Jurassic Park. Good movie. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
I give it 4.5.
I gave it 4. Could be 4.5, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely go up. It's, I guess, one of the best sci-fi movies out there. Then I watched in a hotel room, the Final Destination, which is like the 4th movie. Came out 2009. It's a piece of crap film. Half a star.
I just feel like that's a classic to a lot of people.
I feel like the series, but I've heard the Final Destination is like regarded as the worst of the series.
Interesting.
And there's a reason why, because it's not good. The characters aren't good. Story's not good. There's literally a jock character, and a mom dies, and he's like, "Dang, we lost a MILF." I'm like, that is just horrible writing.
That's his way of
is that from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
grieving.
I don't think you understand the value of a life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
funny.
okay.
Dang.
And they just put in like an old racist guy at the end, a nurse. He's like, "Yeah, I killed all your kind back in my day, back in the war." And he's like, "I'm Chinese." I'm like, why is this like, he's just shoehorned in here. I'm like,
Wow.
This is a bad movie.
Okay.
So don't go watch it.
writing.
Then on the flip end, I gave that a half star. And then I gave this movie, The Departed, a 5 star. Great.
The Departed.
Yeah, The Departed is
Have
fantastic.
you seen The Departed?
Is that the I See Dead People movie?
That is the sixth sense.
That's the sixth sense.
See, that is why I'm not a frequent member on this podcast, and you'll soon find out.
But Jack Nicholson, Leo DiCaprio, Matt Damon. Matt Damon, I don't like his character at all, but he's a lovable, like
Love to hate him.
Yeah, just a good movie. I think it's probably my favorite of Martin Scorsese's. But
Nice.
I could go on. Oh, I also think it's Mark Wahlberg's best performance.
Nice.
So good movie.
Not Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Nice.
I changed my mind.
What about Daddy's Home?
I've actually heard that's a good movie. I watched Jurassic Park as well. Gave it 4.5 stars. That's a classic, ahead of its time. But then I also watched X2, X-Men United. Very solid step up from the first movie in the series. Nightcrawler's a great addition. Writing's better. Special effects are better.
Does Cyclops get a better role?
Negatory. I like Cyclops. Doesn't get a better role. So good movie. You can watch it without watching the first one.
I watched Jurassic Park. I gave it 4 stars, and then I watched.
I gave X2 3.5 stars.
I was on the Sam Neill train, so I watched Event Horizon, and I gave it 2 stars. I maybe could bump it up to 2.5. It's kind of like I feel like back in 1997, it would have been like a really fun sci-fi romp. But towards the end, I was just kind of tuning out. And apparently, there's a director's cut of this movie, and for like towards the end, there's this like really rapid sequence shot of just like all of the crew members just being like tortured, like real like body mutilation stuff. Like you don't see it for more than half a second, but apparently like the director's cut just like dove head first into some of that stuff. So it's like
an NC-17 rating or something at that point.
Yeah, maybe not, but I just would have no desire to watch that. And then it's so weird. The intro credits and the end credits, it's got like Limp Bizkit like playing. So this was like 1997, so maybe that's on par, but it was fine. Lucas, what have you been watching lately?
I'm glad you asked. You guys watch your Jurassic Parks and all of your peak cinema movies. Well, I watched some peak cinema myself.
Okay.
Ooh,
I watched Flushed Away.
Flushed Away, starring Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, to this day, that always surprises me that that's just him. Like, he's the Wolverine guy. In my mind,
the Wolverine, but he's also Roddy.
And the guy can sing.
Aardman, is that the company?
It's not stop motion. That one is animated to appear like stop motion, but it's computer animation.
That is, now that I'm taking 2 seconds to think about it, that checks out. I did not realize that. Because they're the company that does like Wallace and Gromit and stuff.
Well, there were some little Easter eggs that I never noticed before. Like he's switching out his outfits, and he has like a Wolverine outfit, and he's like the Wallace and Gromit. Yeah.
That's fun.
But does it hold up? No, not really.
I remember really liking that movie as a kid.
Our grandma refused to see it because it had rats, even if they are made to look like they're made out of clay.
That's valid, and there were some funny parts, but ultimately it just wasn't my cup of tea.
If you had to give it score half a star to 5 stars, what would you give it?
I'd probably give it 3 stars. Like it was fine. Like it wasn't bad.
3's not bad. That's
3's like
above
okay,
halfway.
Yeah, I'll say it's okay.
A little bit better than okay.
Yeah.
Nice. 3 is a movie that I'm glad I watched, but I won't return to it anytime soon.
And I didn't. I hadn't seen that movie in probably 10 years. So
nice. All right. So now that's what are we watching? Now we're going to move into another familiar segment. Quick five. Lucas is in the hot seat. We got 5 prepared questions for him. He will give us rapid fire answers.
Answer honestly.
I will start.
Kind of nervous.
All right. Question number 1. What is your opinion on the Banshees of Inisherin?
Complete garbage movie, overhyped.
What would you give it score wise?
1.
Would you rather watch a Marvel movie?
100%.
Would you rather watch Flushed Away?
Yes. 3 stars.
You don't have
away, 1 star.
You don't have any appreciation for like the artistic direction or like the themes and
atmosphere,
the symbolism,
the feud.
The feud. That was not beyond me. Like I understood what they were doing. It was just the delivery that really
give us your best Irish accent.
We're not going to be friends no more. Here are me fingers.
Don't come to my house.
Don't come to my house. I'm going to burn it down. Yeah.
Question number 2. You love Avatar: Last Airbender, correct?
I do.
What element would you choose to have?
I've thought about that a lot as a child. I would say, everyone says Earth, which I totally get. I think I would say air.
Air.
Yeah.
Interesting. You'd have to shave your head.
I mean, I'm already kind of getting to that point, so like it's inevitable anyways. But like just being able to jump from great heights and land no problem, blast my foes away. I have a lot of foes. So.
Nice.
Question number 3. If you could have one real life Pokemon companion, who'd you choose? You've got over 1,000 to pick from these days.
That's a good question.
A companion.
A companion.
They can do labor around the house, but they can also be a friend.
I'd have to go with Gardevoir.
For no particular reason. I would honestly say Mudkip because, I feel like realistically, it's cool to have like the biggest, strongest monster, but how does that really apply?
How would you?
I would love more of a
Where
little
would they
pet.
sleep in the house?
Exactly. Like Mudkip
I guess they would.
here.
I guess they would sleep in a Pokeball probably, but
Get your ball. Yeah. But I'd say probably a smaller little cute pet.
Mudkip. That's
like
a good answer. I thought you were going to say Trico.
No, more of a Mudkip stand.
Gen 3.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 4. In high school, you worked as a lifeguard at the local municipal pool. Did you ever save anyone's life as a lifeguard?
I did. I saved several lives, actually.
Do you put that on a resume?
No, I do not. One of the lives I saved was a small child who had no business being on the high dive. Jumped off, started drowning immediately. Since they're small, you can kind of just pluck him out of the water.
Grab him by his head, just palm him.
What are you doing?
He's like still trying to tread and swim and stuff in midair. And the mom, she comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, he's good to go off the diving board. Like he's in the guppy class. Like he's good to swim." And I'm like, "Clearly not, ma'am.
That is.
You almost lost a
Guppies know
child.
how to swim.
You're
Your
like-
child does not.
His lungs are full of water."
I think I got 2 eyes on him at all times.
Yeah.
So, last question. We do a lot of talk about Letterboxd on this podcast. We want to know what your Letterboxd top 4 favorite movies are. So this is the 4 favorite movies you would show on this app to show this is the movies that you love.
Well, first I have to mention my actual Letterboxd account, which is very much abandoned.
Rest
I made
in
it
peace.
in 2019 when I was on a Harry Potter movie bender.
I think that's all of your movies are just the Harry Potter.
And I'm just like, 5. So that's my actual answer, my actual answer would be probably Back to the Future.
Okay.
I watched that quite a bit with my dad growing up, and I just love the characters.
Do you like the whole trilogy or just the
I
first
do like
one?
I feel like the third one is usually slept on because it's kind of like a Wild West thing, but I like it a lot. And I also like how Marty's dad is like, "Hey guys, I'm just really shy," and he's like,
hang too.
and he's like creeping on his mom. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I enjoy that movie a lot. Then another one that might not surprise you is Rocky 4.
Oh, wow.
That does surprise me.
I don't feel like I ever really heard you talk about Rocky, actually.
Well, I haven't seen it in a while, but I used to watch it quite a bit as well. And I just love all the training montages and all the Rocky movies are peak. Like I have a Spotify playlist of just Rocky music to work out
Nice.
to. But the whole Russia versus US,
That's
tensions
the
back.
Dolph Lundgren.
The Russians
And,
cut.
and seeing him come up to the scene and just tower over everyone else, it just peak cinema.
I
Like,
will break you.
yeah, if he dies, he dies. Like, and he's like looking up with Apollo, and he's just this indomitable figure. It's just like
Nice.
Peak.
Okay.
I like
great
it.
movie. And then the other two are a little more chillaxed. You might be able to guess. School of Rock.
Nice.
Noah and I's top 5.
Can you just hold out your hand for me real quick? Let's rock today.
Yeah, it's just
It's like his name, Larry. And Larry's like, I'm not cool. I am
that's
not cool.
cool. Yeah. And his parents in the crowd are like, "That's my son."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've watched that several times together.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years, that's just been our common ground is
Yeah.
School of Rock.
And after every viewing, I'm always like, "I'm gonna go pick up the guitar." And
Yeah,
try
It's
to learn
so
it.
true. It's like,
Yeah.
I still have, back in 2016, Josiah, Lucas, and I were like, we're going to teach ourselves how to play instruments. We're going to start a band.
Riley was not in the picture at that time. Riley
It's going
would
to be
have been
awesome.
Riley would have been
Shooting hoops.
harmonica.
I bought a bass guitar, and I still have it in the closet to this day. I gave it several goes, never learned how to play it. But after watching School of Rock, it's like, maybe there's a chance.
You're like, "Can Jack Black come to my house and teach me how to rock?"
And Jack Black's like, "Cello." Got yourself a bass guitar.
When it's all said and done, do you think Jack Black's most defining career role will be in School of Rock or Minecraft as Steve?
That's tough. Like the delivery in the trailer alone, I'm just like,
When he said, "I am Steve,"
Steve. No, I feel like out of all of his movies, School of Rock is, and then I've seen like interviews and stuff with him. And
I think he's gone on the record to say that's one of his favorite roles that he's ever done.
Mhm.
yeah. So fantastic movie.
Yep.
And then my fourth would probably be Hot Rod.
Nice.
I just it's a goofy SNL movie, but it never fails to make me laugh with just how like absurd it is. It's extremely quotable, and I never mind going back to rewatch.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't get old. It feels like,
Right, yeah.
especially if you watch it with friends. It's just like
So
It's
You
like
just watch
peak
it
high school
on
humor,
repeat.
really.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say one of them was The Incredibles.
The Incredibles is pretty goated, but I didn't come to my mind. But I do love that movie.
I was not expecting Rocky or Back to the Future, so
Yeah, I
Great,
love those
great
movies.
Letterboxd top 4.
yeah, that's great.
That's a quick 5.
But now we're on to a new bit, one that I'm very excited to introduce with Lucas here on the pod, because I feel like Lucas will make some excellent contributions here. But the name of this bit is MCU V2.
MCU.
So, as we all know, in 2024, the MCU has gotten a little stale. It's had some good moments. Riley would argue that Spider-Man No Way Home is a top 5 MCU movie. No one I would call him crazy. But
I feel like Riley's taking crazy
a
pills
lot
right now.
of
It's really
a lot
good.
of MCU projects, a lot of TV shows. The MCU is getting stale. So it's our job to introduce some new heroes and some new villains to the MCU. So what's going to happen here is we're going to go around. I have pulled up on my computer a random superpower generator. I got the there is a superpower wiki, and you can press a button, it takes you to a random page. These are powers across all forms of content and IP. So I'm going to hit the button, and every one of us is going to get a random superpower. What we're going to do from there, with everybody's superpower, is we'll take 30 seconds. You have to come up with a name. You're going to, like, your superpower. You're going to have to come up with the name for the hero with that superpower. You're going to have to come up with the actor who plays that superhero. And from there, since there's 4 of us,
You're playing too?
yeah, I'm playing as well. And since there's 4 of us, I was going through these powers, and sometimes they're like crazy OP, sometimes they're like can shoot bubbles from their fingertips or something. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss who is maybe like either the most powerful or like the most like villainous power. And it's going to be a 3v1. We're going to decide who the villain is. The other three are the heroes, and we're going to hash it out. See, do the heroes defeat the villain?
Okay, I like
Okay?
that. Yeah.
All right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Everybody's following along there?
Yep.
I hope
All
I
right.
get the bubble power.
So we're going to start with Riley. I'm on superpowerwiki.com. I'm just going to click give me, and if I don't understand what it says, I'm just going to go to
Hit me.
hit random again.
Hit
Random
him with
superpower.
your
Riley's
best shot.
random superpower is interface creation. The power to create interfaces. User can create interfaces, the point of interconnection between systems or subsystems, allowing them to manipulate how something interfaces with technology and possibly
It's
non-technological
like you're up
objects.
your alley more so.
So
is
you're
it
like a tech guy.
I'm a tech guy.
You're the guy in the chair.
Is that Gray?
Yep.
Tech guy.
Great. That's usually Noah. All right.
He's like, what did I do?
Lucas is here. It's Lucas this
Yeah,
time.
no,
I love interfaces.
All right. Noah's random superpower is yin and yang power link.
That's kind of sick.
The user can make yin and yang aspects connect to their powers and use it to control them. The yin and yang aspects fuel the powers and allow them to be strengthened and utilized on various levels.
I don't know what that means. It sounds kind of cool.
It was like a soul link
The
thing?
examples it gives is Mr. Negative from Spider-Man.
I did just play that game, but I don't.
Do we want
He
to-
just kind of creates energy. Can I just create energy?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yin and yang energy.
Yangergy.
All right. Lucas, your superpower is axe manipulation.
The power to manipulate axes. Users can create, shape, and manipulate axes, an implement that has been used for millennia to shape, split, and cut wood to harvest timber as a weapon. ... Cut wood, but maybe cut down foes as well.
Because that's what I was thinking too.
This is going to be
axes.
This is going to be a rated R.
Yeah,
That's
there's
what
going
it
to be
sounds like.
entrails spilling out from
Yeah.
my created axes.
All right. And for myself, my random superpower is fictional arts. The power to Liberal
utilize
arts.
practices rooted in fictional power. Hold on. The user can utilize the fictional arts, a specialized system of techniques based around fictional power. I don't know what that means.
Let's
So
just
can you
re-roll
like
that one.
bring this painting
I
into
don't-
the real world?
I don't know. Sometimes these are
Like
so
water.
specific. All right.
Kind of OP.
I would just
I'm
re-roll
going
it.
to redo. I don't understand that. Okay, well, here we go. Dimensional element manipulation.
He just goes through until I find what he wants. No, this is too hard to
Not
understand.
cool. Not cool.
User can create, shape, and manipulate dimensional elements. That's like chalk zone. You like draw something and it comes to life.
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Doodle Bob.
That movie had a sky beam
Yeah.
in it. I'm pretty sure. Doodle Bob. Yeah.
Okay, I get
So
dimensional
it sounds
element
Sounds
manipulation.
like Josiah's going to be the villain here.
Yeah.
Lucas is axe manipulation.
Yours is way higher stakes. Like, oh,
I
I'm
thought
going to create an axe.
Yeah, I thought the
Yeah,
more
but-
OP.
true, but I just feel
I'm
like
going
if
to
we're
tank the stock market. I think I'm the bad guy.
Riley, you're not the bad guy.
What?
The real bad guy, politicians.
All right, now we're going to take 30 seconds to a minute. Everybody try to think of a name for your... So I'm the villain, if we're like establishing that up front. Name for your person and the actor that plays them. All right. And we're going to try to do this without creating dead air.
Ooh, whoa.
And during that time, Noah will regale us with a original song.
Oh, we're just hanging out in this Airbnb living room. Take it away, Riley.
I love my friends.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe don't sing that one.
Being
I'd
the
rather
tech guy.
have dead air. Rather have dead air.
It's hard to think and
feel like
not have dead air at the same time.
In this day and age, all of the cool names are taken.
Yeah.
Noah lives inside a box. He's afraid to step outside the box. He's afraid of what
I'm
he might
comfortable.
find.
It's comfortable in the box.
Yeah.
If I leave, I'm uncomfortable.
I get that. You know, it's lonely, you know.
It's good to put limits on ourselves.
Exactly. Never leave your comfort zone.
No, I try not to. But Josiah doesn't come up with the most creative name I've ever heard.
I was gonna say,
then he's just there with me in the
The
box.
names going through my head are super lame.
I got my name and my actor.
I got my actor.
I got my name and actor.
If you guys could just talk for a little bit so I can think.
So like, can I like go to like an ATM machine?
You're a hero. You
I'm
would
just- I'm
never
just-
steal money.
I'm just asking, can I like
good. Robin Hood style.
touch the machine and then like money comes out? Is that like my powers?
I think that is
Okay.
a component of it, but
I can rig
you
the
would never
election.
do that.
I can.
You're only using your powers for evil.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You can rig the election
what if I want an energy drink?
to ensure democracy gets a fair...
Riley starts
Yeah.
out as a hero, but then slowly gets overcome by his
Nobody
greed.
takes him
The
seriously.
classic villain origin story. He just
Yeah.
gets bullied and then he's like,
yeah.
I'm going to interface you.
Yeah. I'm gonna get interfaced.
Get in her face. Bro.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
I don't have an actor, but I'll think of one.
I think I'm ready.
Should I go
Okay,
first?
yeah, we'll go in order.
Okay.
We selected. So say your power again.
What's
Interface manipulation.
interface manipulation? And my name is the Wizard, played by.
Not even like tech wizard or nothing?
I'm just the Wizard. Okay.
Fair enough.
Played by Josh Peck.
You've been
Very interesting.
That
You've been
points for creativity.
Thank you. I think Josh Peck. He was in a Christopher Nolan movie. The MCU's probably be like, we should use this guy.
I don't think Josh Peck is like the best actor.
Have you seen Drake and Josh?
But
Yeah.
he needs the right character, and if it's, the wizard is a
Yeah.
specific role.
Yeah.
The way he count
It's
down
it's kinda
to
like how
10.
And
In
MCU,
Oppenheimer?
or like that role was created for Robert Downey Jr. The Wizard is created for Josh
Yes.
That's exactly.
Yes.
Peck. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So my power is yin and yang,
Energy blast.
yin and yang energy blast, because we have the dichotomy of black and white, good and evil. My character's name is Alter Ego.
I thought you were going to say my character's name is Oreo.
You know, like all the black and white cats out there, they're named Oreos.
All right, Alter Ego.
Alter Ego, played by none other than Ewan McGregor.
Ooh, I like him. That's
Ewan McGregor.
automatically like everyone likes Ewan McGregor.
And if we had more time here, I'd come up with a pretty freaking awesome origin story. Ewan McGregor you guys would fall in love with him, but it sounds like you already have fallen in love with him. So,
Don't
And
have to
Josh
try too
Peck.
hard.
And the wizard.
Don't forget about the wizard. Yeah.
All right,
here.
Lucas.
All right. My guy's name is.
Wait. The power.
Oh, sorry. The power axe manipulation,
Yes,
pretty
very,
cool.
Very cool.
which is cool. I think so. Then name next.
Yep.
It's gonna sound like a first last name, but I think it could also be used for like it's gonna be axe craftsman. So like, hey, Axe, how's it going?
It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
Just
like-
call him Axe for short.
Yeah, or you can say like it's the axe craftsman. Like either way, you know? But his buddies call him Axe.
I like that.
Very good.
Yeah, and it's going to be played after seeing his performance in the newest Deadpool, Henry Cavill. I feel like he pulled off the
Like
facial.
a grizzly kind
Yeah.
of rugged.
I'm a big Henry Cavill guy.
Yeah,
so.
is he like a lumberjack sort
Yeah,
of?
yep, exactly. He's
that.
got the thick body,
Yeah.
wife beater tank top type
Great.
deal.
Fantastic.
You come into his woods, he just like summons like a one-handed
He's
axe.
like, I'm
throws it.
gonna cut you in half.
Exactly.
with my axe.
I
And
thought
then
you
the
were gonna say,
axe
I'm
like
gonna-
flies next to somebody's head, and he's just
Yeah.
like, creating another axe.
Wow.
Next one's
Is
not
he,
gonna
is he
miss.
like Thor with like Mjolnir? Can he like summon the axe back?
Well, absolutely. He can manipulate
You
it
can
that
manipulate
way.
it.
He can
Wow.
even
You
like
got- you
break
probably
apart its like particles and like have it reappear back in his
To,
hand.
you got the
I
coolest
love
power
that.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
mean, come on.
yeah.
I'm the wizard.
Okay. I have the power of dimensional element manipulation, aka drawing stuff and bringing it to life.
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
My name,
Drawn to life?
my character's name is Contour. And the actor who plays him is David Dalmatian.
That's Malchian.
That one.
David Spade.
He's
Come on.
ripped.
Let's draw it.
David Dalmatian is he always plays characters who are a little twisted, little messed up in the head, and that's Contour.
Like an Ant-Man. He was totally messed up in that movie.
in Polka Dot Man, in The
Baba
Dark
Yaga.
Knight,
He's in Prisoners. He
Prisoners.
played like a
So he
Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he said
did I
Polka
say
Dot
that?
Man. You said Polka Dot Man.
yeah. So he creates like demented drawings, and they terrorize the city.
He draws demons.
I didn't say demons. I said monstrosities.
I think of
You
like
said
those
demented.
asylum wall drawings, like in like scary movies or like video games.
Yeah.
They're just like scratches.
Like
on
occult
kind of-
patterns.
He's a very Riddler-esque, the Batman Riddler-esque, very creepy, very demented, dark, withdrawn. But he creates these drawings that kind of he lives vicariously through his drawings. He's Contour, and he's going to crush the city,
Wow.
and he's going to crush your guys' team.
We're gonna stop you guys though. We're gonna stop you.
What are you going to do to stop me?
You know those things that bring you food like on campuses, the little like
No,
they're like kind of like DoorDash, but they're like little robots. And they
I
can bring,
don't know what
Like
you're talking about.
Amazon.
So there's like little robots on like OSU campus that like bring people food. It takes a while to get there, but I'm just gonna order all of them to go after you. And there's gonna be like
Why not
rats-
like
We're gonna send
drones?
The wizard
That
would take it
too.
away.
ice cream and hot dog stands after me.
drones. I'm gonna drones after you. All these, you just won't hit you.
And then Contour will be so fascinated by the contour of the shape of the hot dog
Yeah.
that we can come in,
Yeah, he's
a
like,
backhand strike.
Is it a sandwich?
I'm pretty much just a distraction.
That's for sure.
Okay, so the wizard
Next
has
to the
created the
wizard.
distraction, and then Alter Ego is going to come in, and he's going to shoot you with massive amounts of energy blasts.
Okay, shooting me? Or are you shooting? I'm creating monstrosities never before seen.
Like the nondescript like alien army that attacks the city. It's like nondescript alien.
and you guys can use as much violence
Not-
against them as you want because they're not human beings. They're drawings.
All I'm
Axes.
saying is,
Great for axe manipulation.
like a million axes. I'm just like sending in like an axe storm, kind of like is it Hela from Thor?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she throws like
Yeah, but
swords.
I
doesn't she?
draw-
Right, yeah, but basically like that, but with like a ton
I
of axes.
draw a monster and it's just like,
and it just sucks in all the
And
axes
then I
and
just
swallows
like
them.
do a little snap, and all the axes like explode out of
That
the
would be pretty
monster.
cool.
I'm
But that's
sending
just
all
one
the
monster.
Tesla Cybertrucks at you, so you better be ready for that.
Cybertrucks from around the world, all
Yeah.
3,000
Yeah.
of
Hacked
them.
into people's fridges because all their fridges are connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and they're all of them are indestructible. So how you gonna beat that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, check out its safety features.
Yeah.
Like, you put your hand on the trunk.
That is done for.
you can't
My
type
hand.
anymore. You crush your fingers.
You can't draw contours.
I don't know. The Wizard, I just feel like your realm of technology is sort of antithetical to my realm of pen and paper and ink.
You're thinking
and
too small.
We live in a digital age, though. All right.
True. I don't know. I just feel like my drawings kind of they are not bound by electricity. So I just feel like that they can dominate.
I got a few words for you. Nuclear missile codes. Interface with those. Nuclear.
True.
Sure, you might take out the whole
I was
city.
gonna say you got some
Just a little
casualties.
bit of collateral damage. Never hurt
I
anybody.
control the fallout with an axe tornado.
That sounds like that would double the body count.
It spreads it like 40
And I
miles.
would control the tornado with my energy blasts.
Wow.
You
You guys
guys
are just like,
nuke. Like
We're
you could,
doing
Yeah,
it. We're
I'm like-
saving the city, and you're just like growing this axe energy tornado. That's like I'm just watching you guys destroy the city yourself.
Listen, I'm envisioning him interfacing with the nuke, dropping it on top of you, and before it spreads far and wide, Noah's like,
Am I a
You're
nuclear
just,
threat?
you're just trying to
I don't
like
think a nuke
you're,
is the
You're just
answer.
trying to like rob a bank.
just don't
and
like
we're
you.
just like destroying the city.
listen, he can do some pretty crazy stuff.
I
with his-
can, but that's the thing. This is not an event. I don't think I'm an Avengers level threat. I
Okay,
think
that's what I was thinking.
Street level.
I think
But
I
we're
am
Avengers, right?
Yeah, you're not on the Avengers. The Wizard, he's part of the.
Not a tech support for the Avengers.
Bench warmers.
Wizard, get in here. Reset my password.
I don't know.
Can I help Spider-Man today? No, you can't.
Nope.
Not
You're on the
today.
clock.
That's the Wizard's origin story, though. His villain origin
Just
story.
imagine you're just trying to break into the bank and you're just like, what is going on over there? It's just a major axe tornado with like an energy blast around
We're
it.
doing it. We're saving the city.
We're saving the city. We're heroes.
I don't know. I think.
I think we would win.
I think at the end, maybe the end of this story is just wanton destruction, and nobody really gets
It's
out
a
alive.
mutually assured destruction for the whole city, and everyone's dead.
Can't rob the bank if there's no bank to rob.
Do I make it out alive though?
Well, you're at the nuclear launch facilities. You're super far away.
But somehow I still die.
The wizard has like he sits at a desk all day, so he has like coronary artery disease. Throws a clot.
Okay, I was going to say there's like a little drawing of like a little rat or something. One of the I drew a little rat, and it's just like.
Not like this.
Riley's like, I hate rats.
He gets the Black Plague and dies.
Yeah,
Brings back
very
the
slow
plague.
death. Well, there's no real resolution to this movie. It sounds like.
I mean, there's resolution. It's just not a happy
It
ending.
continues in an after credit scene, part 2, as it always does.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
Like-
like
Junior-
we
Just
think we've defeated you, but you left like a chalk outline, and you like kind of
Oh,
like resurface.
that's
yourself.
perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like you say, your hand reaching out of it, and then it like cuts to black
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, that's great. I can totally see that.
Yeah. So
You're
and
spitting.
you're handing me at the hospital bed, and I'm like,
It's like the
It's not bad as a dog, and it's like this tiny little rat bite. It's like really not that bad.
guy just has a very low constitution. All right. Well, that is the MCU V2. Let us know in the comments who you think won, Contour versus the Wizard, Alter Ego, and Axe Craftsman.
I like our chances.
I do too.
If you guys survive, you're getting arrested by the local police.
Not if we
You guys
destroyed the local
become
police.
enemies of the state. Moving on.
Ba, 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 ba.
Keep going.
Who loves Star Wars?
We love Star Wars.
It's okay. More of a tricky myself.
We're tricky.
We've done drafts, we've done rankings, we've done brackets, but today we're going to a new galaxy. We're doing a tier list, a Star Wars tier list of all the Star Wars movies.
Lucas is our resident Star Wars fanatic, Star Wars
Nerd loser. I love the movies, but also the expanded universe, guys.
Clone Wars. Are you kidding me?
Stop. Right
Knights of the Old Republic.
Don't even get me started on this movie podcast.
The Acolyte.
Crickets.
Did you watch it?
No, I can't say anything because I haven't watched it, but
Heard a lot of bad
it's
things.
easy to ride the hate wave, though.
And then they said it's not coming back for season 2, and they got flagged for that. Like, but like, why not? Like, it should come back for.
What did the audience do?
There's a very small contingent of people who were like, bring it back.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
Yeah.
So if you ever done a tier list, you got different tiers. You got S tier, that's the best of the best. A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier.
The worst
And
of the
we
worst.
got how many movies then?
12 movies.
Go ahead and throw them out there real quick.
So you got Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 4. Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Then you go back to the prequels. Star Wars Episode 1, A Phantom Menace. Star Wars Episode 2, Clone Wars. Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Then you got the new trilogy. You got Star Wars Episode 7, Force Awakens. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And then Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. And then there are some movies in between. You got Star Wars Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. You got Solo, Star Wars Solo.
Said the line.
Yeah. We're so bad.
And then you had one anime movie, The Clone Wars.
Which we're counting because it got a theatrical release, and we saw it in theaters
That
when
is
it
a
came
Star
out
Wars
back
movie.
in 2008.
Yeah.
And you all guys also have seen Star Wars A Holiday Special, right?
Definitely not. I heard it was really bad.
That is
Yeah.
technically a Star Wars movie, but
We're not going to be ranking that today. We're doing a collective tier list, so we're going to be averaging all of our picks of the movies. So we might disagree, we might agree. Do you guys want to start in the
So we start in chronological
I was going
order.
to say chronological
Okay.
release.
Gotcha. All right. Any questions? We ready to get started?
How are you feeling right now?
I'm ready to go.
Let's go then.
Let's go.
Star Wars.
Star Wars started off with in 1977, I believe, in Star Wars A New Hope.
I thought we said chronological order.
Yeah.
Well, then someone else said
chronological release.
That confused me too.
That's what
Chronological talks about a timeline.
chronological release. That's the real life timeline.
We'll just say release order.
We would call that release order. We wouldn't call that chronological release order.
Star Wars A New Hope, aka Star Wars when it released.
Yes.
Perfect hero's journey movie. S tier.
Absolutely. S tier.
Beginning, middle, and end.
I think sorry, go ahead.
And I also think, how many S tiers are we going to allow ourselves to have?
Oh, there's a limit on
I
S
don't think we
tiers.
should I will say I'm not going to put S tier on much other. I don't think we need to limit ourselves.
Okay.
I think we'll hash it out. But I think even though it is almost 50 years old,
Holds up very well.
it holds up very well.
It gave us a Clone Wars with one throwaway line.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. Like you're like, what is that? Like all this like mystique and intrigue just like in a throwaway line, and it just spurred all of these movies and TV shows, and that's just like that's awesome.
Yeah, and just the way it didn't create the sci-fi genre, but it pushed it 20 years forward.
Solidified its
Really
place.
good lightsaber battles.
Yeah, I love a little twiddling.
Yeah.
The technology wasn't there yet.
But I mean, it was at the time.
I mean,
just
at
like-
the time, lightsabers, that showing up is probably pretty
Blew
cool
people's
for its
minds
time.
back then.
Yeah.
I enjoy it every time. Still watching it. Hasn't gotten old yet.
Yeah.
S tier.
That snow moon.
Do you agree?
Personally, like, it's not my favorite Star Wars movie. I said what my favorite Star Wars movie was last week, but it's good. I'm happy with it being an S tier.
I think also S tier. The vibes of the cantina on Tatooine. Also, I don't know. I just feel like the music playing and like kind of that whole scene. Just like to me, that's like peak quintessential Star Wars, and it being in that movie just really set the tone for all the wacky
Playing
aliens
through
around and
Mos Eisley to farm credits in the Lego Star Wars game.
As the ghost characters, because
As the ghost
you were
characters.
undetected. Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like we have our first S tier. First movie. What a great movie.
Love it.
Amazing.
Next, after 3 years, came Star Wars Empire. The Empire Strikes Back.
F. Next question.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
A tier. Solid A tier.
I mean,
It's hard for me. I think it deserves to be S tier. I think it
that's
just
like
this
heralded
the
as
wider
like, the best
audience
one, isn't
says
it?
it's the best of the original trilogy.
I also think it's S tier. I just think the whole sequence of Luke beginning his training and having to make that choice. You know, do I go the Jedi way that caused really the whole order, as we later find out, to fall? You know,
Mhm.
choose to stay to train or go and help my friends against maybe my better judgment.
Mhm,
I think that was like a really great scene in that movie. And Dagobah also just such a great
See,
vibe for
I've heard
training.
people say that they really think Dagobah is pretty boring.
Really.
Yeah, it's a boring segment of the movie.
You do have one of the most iconic lines in cinematic history. Big iconic reveals
If
that
he
doesn't
says
even
it.
feel like a release spoiler.
If he says it, he's the new spoiler guy.
No, I am your father.
I feel like that always gets messed up also,
That's
because what do most
impossible.
people say, like,
Luke, I am your father.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
no,
definitely guilty of
I am your
that.
I mean, like, it's just so mainstream that it doesn't. In our lifetime, that was never a spoiler. It was just like
Mhm.
we just kind of knew.
It's-
But like
it is
at the
kinda-
time, it was huge.
I have a coworker. He said he just showed episode 5 to his son, who's like 6 years old, and he said his son was just like blown
Yeah,
away
that's
at
awesome.
that. So it's like it's cool that it still lands on newer audiences.
Yeah, I say A.
I say yes.
Yes.
Well, you're the one who said we need to control how many S tier movies.
Well, like
we have.
Josiah said, I'm not going to be handing out as many S's.
I mean, I
going
would actually.
forward,
You know what?
probably.
I'm fine with this one being S as well.
Okay,
And I was done.
where are we gonna put Rogue One?
We're going to
Yes.
play episode 1.
This whole segment ends. And so for our S tier, we have about 12 entries, and that's all of them.
All right.
So then I think 3 years later it became Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, which I've always growing up, Return of the Jedi was my favorite, but like recently it definitely has gone down.
I think the Ewoks when we were younger were cool.
Yes.
And now that we're older, they're annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it recently with like the symphony playing.
Oh,
well,
yeah?
I guess a year
Ooh.
ago recently, which was great. But yeah, the whole Ewok scene just seemed like really drug out and just like I feel like I watched that movie at this point just for the throne room scene exclusively and not so much.
Well, I was gonna say like the whole final minutes of the Vader's redemption arc and
I
everything.
love me a redemption arc.
I mean, Luke, I'm a Jedi,
Kylo
like
Ren.
my father before me. That's like goosebumps.
Mm.
But I say like there are moments that are S tier
Yes.
in episode 6, but as a whole, I'm saying solid B.
I'm comfortable with that, I think.
Yeah, I think the Endor parts just they're not the best and they just take up the bulk of the movie.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that.
Okay.
The intros, I do like
Yeah.
the intro with
It is
Jabba's
a little
palace.
long though.
How long is
It
it?
feels like 30 minutes or something like that. I don't know.
The
How-
intro is?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Jabba's place?
I do really.
I
like
do
that
like
part.
yeah.
I like the whole sand barge and
I like when
It
Art-
shows Luke's mastery as well.
I like when R2D2 shoots a lightsaber up to Luke Skywalker and he catches it.
I like the part where he like goes to kick a guy, but in slow mo you can see that there's like about a foot where he does where he like misses the guy, but you never notice that.
What did we say B? Is that
B tier.
yeah, that's
good?
cool.
Mm.
Cool.
All right.
People thought maybe Star Wars was over, but we came back in 1999 with Star Wars Episode 1.
And imagine their
Reminiscence.
disappointment when they saw episode 1 in theaters.
This is tough though. 'cause
I am a prequels like I will defend these movies.
I'm kind of shocked at that.
I've-
I
I
feel
was
like
One and two I will the third one's my
there's
favorite. but-
nostalgia there.
Yes.
because that's
For
what we grew
us,
up with.
that's when we grew up on them. I would say again, I would defend parts of these movies.
I would
Taking them
agree.
as a whole, you gotta nuance it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I would say Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon is a goated character.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan is a goated character.
And I think
Jake Lloyd as Anakin.
we appreciate the prequels also because they expanded on a lot in like the Clone Wars series, and so there's a lot more expanded lore like outside of the movies that we like, but
It's hard at least to not throw that a mention. But I know what you're talking. I feel like in a vacuum, if I'm being honest, episode 1 I would probably say is like C tier.
Yeah. It's not F tier. I think people love to hate on it.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, but it's just
Aside from like your Jar Jar moments, stepping in poop and stuff, like the final
Hold
fight,
on, that's
duel
hilarious.
of the Fates.
Yes.
yeah. It's
Darth
like
Maul-
what it
Darth
could have
Maul,
been.
awesome.
What an imagine the people who watched the original movie watching that fight.
when Darth Maul's the second
Double-bladed,
sided,
Yes.
yeah, their
came
jaws
out.
probably were on the floor.
Yeah,
when they were watching
yeah.
that fight. Still one of the best lightsaber fights in all.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think C.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
or I don't say generous, realistic. A balance of good and
Yeah,
No-
I would
no
maybe
disagrees.
give it B, but
I vote C too.
I would say because then you just have to think: is if we give it B, is that mean put it on the same footing as episode 6?
well, sure.
and I would say
Yeah.
right.
I think episode 6 a notch above.
Yeah.
Then episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
that's like a D tier for me. That's my
I
least
disagree.
favorite.
I
mean,
think I like Attack of the Clones more than Phantom Menace.
I don't.
I think there's Attack of the Clones.
but that
Unfortunately,
might
has
be
a lot of
nostalgia.
boring and slow moments, but it has some pretty cool moments. The whole
The Battle of
final
Geonosis.
the final 30 40 minutes with the Battle of Geonosis, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Count Dooku, and then Yoda shows up,
That
and
was-
Yoda versus Count Dooku. That's really cool.
Yeah, like when you see the original movies and then you see that, you don't imagine him like flipping around
Yeah,
and stuff.
and you're
doing
like,
crazy
Yoda's
acrobatics.
pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah,
and then like what else?
I don't know. That's
Going to Camino for the first time and seeing the clone facility, I think, is neat.
I love the ambiance and like the whole feel of Camino. Also, like
Yeah.
that whole planet. But man, I feel like the bulk of the movie is like the romance scenes with like the bad
Right.
guys.
There's a
Mm,
lot of
Yeah.
politics.
sand. It's rough,
Yeah.
of course. It gets everywhere. Is that episode 2?
Mhm.
Not just the men, but the women and the children.
Yeah, I do like how they kind of like they're like, okay, eventually we got to shoehorn in some dark side stuff to like
Right.
make his.
I
fall
feel like
somewhat
that
believable.
really is fully realized in the next movie, which we're about to get to. I would say in episode 2, it's like,
Yeah.
doesn't land.
Mm.
I'm saying D.
I would argue C as well. If I like it more than the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I would say C. Do we put
So-
above
So to
episode
Josiah,
1?
we say see you later.
Leave.
So would you put it above or below, or like
I put
in
it
front of
above episode 1.
I would put it behind episode 1. If I can't have a D tier, I think it's low C tier.
I think I agree with that. I think I'd put it.
But
a
Lucas,
notch
it's
below.
got Hayden Christensen.
I know, but he's just his Lego death animation. So.
Then episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
My favorite Star Wars movie.
Yes.
I'm
tier.
saying S for that.
It's got to be S tier.
Like, if nostalgia is something to factor in, that's the only one that I think Noah and I at least saw in theaters.
Yeah, I remember
At that
Dad
time,
taking us to
Do
see
you
it
all
in
three
2005.
think it's the best one that should be above?
I think
I-
it's the best one.
For me, the A New Hope is still the best.
If
but
I had to choose to watch one Star Wars movie, I would watch that. I would watch Revenge of the Sith. Therefore, I would put it above the other two.
just as how about just as a movie, just from a cinematic perspective? And I'm not saying one is like we have to go with one
I
or the other.
think-
I think from a cinematic perspective, A New Hope is just like
yeah,
that's the movie.
I agree, but
Yeah.
that's not what Revenge of the Sith is trying to be. It's not trying to be a
True.
standalone movie.
True.
It's a third in a trilogy. Yes, I wouldn't argue that A New Hope is a better standalone or just probably better crafted movie. But Revenge of the Sith, you got Order 66, you got Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar, you got
Obi-Wan
General Grievous.
Obi-Wan versus General Grievous.
General
Hello there.
Grievous is one of the coolest Star Wars villains.
I love that.
Absolutely. And I feel like the whole movie
Versus Count Dooku, and Palpatine telling Anakin to kill him. Like,
Yeah, I mean that was nuts. And I feel like the whole movie, the audience knows it's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Like how are they gonna bleed this into the next, like the whole downfall? Like we have so much built up here. How does this turn into
Yeah.
the Empire? Like
True.
I wonder if people back then like were like, oh, obviously the clones are gonna become the stormtroopers. or
Yeah.
if or like, what they were
Yeah.
thinking. But I just think the whole downfall of the Jedi and just how grand of a betrayal that was just really peak cinema for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
love it.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I get from a strictly movie
True, and
perspective
it's
why
like-
you would say that.
we can make that distinction. We don't have like who cares? Like we can say that Revenge of the Sith is still better.
Yeah.
I would rate it, give it an A tier.
Boo this man.
I still think there's parts of that movie that are not that good. Like I'm still not the fan of George Lucas's dialogue, his writing. I'm not.
He was doing his best.
So you would put it behind.
He's
A New
just a
Hope?
boy.
And Empire Strikes Back. It would be my.
Oh, that's right. That's an
It would be my
S as well.
third. So are we fine with putting New Hope at number 1, Revenge of the Sith at number 2?
That's what I would do.
Empire
Sure.
Strikes Back.
I think that's fair.
That's my move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next,
So do you guys know the Clone Wars animated series, animated movie?
animated movie, F tier.
It's got to be F tier.
Easiest F
I do
tier.
have to give a shout out to the show. The last 4 episodes of the show
I was
are
gonna
the best. That last 4
If the
episodes are
last 4 episodes of the show, which put together creates about an hour and a half or 2 hour movie, it would probably be S tier.
It would probably. It's a.
It's
100%.
so good.
Riley, you're missing out on not watching, by the way.
But
Anyways,
the Clone Wars. But it's interestingly enough, like the Clone Wars movie that was in theaters is also just like 3 episodes of the show.
yeah,
It's shot like
It introduces
beginning, middle, end,
Ahsoka.
beginning, middle, end, beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
And so it's just like
it's awkward.
like in that sense, it's just like a bad written. Like that's just not how movies are structured in the first place. But the animation looks bad. The characters like really whiny. Who
Dialogue's
cares?
not great.
Yeah. So it's just it doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good.
Did they introduce Cad Bane in that movie, or was that not?
No,
until
that
the
was
show?
like the end of season.
We saw that. We saw it in theaters at a friend's birthday party, and back in the day, it was just like Star Wars content. But
Yeah.
now it's just like that is terrible.
Fun factoid: apparently, the Clone Wars as a show was like going downhill fast, and George Lucas just pumped all of his own money into it.
Really?
Just like because it was like his passion project.
Mm.
on the
And
side.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni leaned over. He's like, "I'll take it from here, old man."
Thank you, my child.
Yeah, my boy.
Man, it's true. All of it. The Force Awakens came out in 2015.
I'm
I-
gonna give it B.
I would give. It's not the most original film. I would
It
give
plays
it.
it safe.
I would give it an A tier.
When I
I-
first saw this in theaters, I'm like, this is S tier. I love this movie.
Yeah.
But I do not think it has aged well because of the
What they
The
do
two
with
mo-
Finn.
what they do with Finn, but the 2 movies that follow, like everything they set up, they don't really pay off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just like it's not good as a rewatch because in theaters you're like, man, this is awesome. I love it. I'm
What's
so
gonna
excited.
happen next?
Yes, like the cliffhanger when you see Luke, I was just like, let's go. And then
yeah.
now I'm just like, man.
So that's like
wait.
an S tier, like theater experience.
I saw it like 3 or 4 times in theaters.
That's the
think
only
I did
movie
too,
I've seen
yeah.
3 times in theaters.
Yeah, I watched it after I got out of basic training with a shaved head, going around
I just felt
San
the cool
Antonio,
breeze
Texas,
blowing on his head.
watching Star Wars: Force Awakens 2 months after it came out. It was still in theaters.
Made a lot of money.
I would give it.
I'd give it an A tier comfortably. Like I don't think regardless of how everything paid off, like I think it sets up. It's not supposed to pay off a bunch of things. It's supposed to set up a bunch of things, which it does relatively well.
What else do we have in B tier? Just Phantom Menace.
No, just Return of the Jedi. I would put it B tier behind Return of the Jedi.
One of my main gripes with it is the whole red herring switcheroo with Finn in Rey. Like, I really wish they had
Yeah.
explored like the ex stormtrooper thing.
Yeah, yeah,
A little, which I guess they kind of try to do. at
You're
the
saying
Rise of
there's missed opportunities with the sequel trilogy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like they kind of did him dirty, and I kind of wish it was
Oh,
him and
absolutely.
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
FN2187 was my favorite character. I had a Funko Pop of him, which I don't have many, but I'm like, I love Finn, and I'm just super excited to see what they do with him next. And
Yeah, but they were close because they had the scene with the stormtrooper with like the thing. And he's like traitor, and like did the
Yeah.
That was pretty sick.
I also like when he fought Kylo Ren for a little bit. I think that's I always enjoy that scene.
Yeah,
I'd be comfortable B tier behind Return of the Jedi.
I agree.
I agree with that.
I can see.
We have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This is I don't know if I've talked about this on the pod yet, but I am not a fan of Rogue One.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't seen it since it came out.
I think it's pretty boring.
I-
Besides, like the last
I don't remember
20
anything
minutes
from
of it,
other
Really?
than
I don't-
everyone dies. At
don't
the
care
end.
about any of the characters. And it has a really cool Darth Vader moment. And I think people just ride that.
I think that I really like a movie that's like
Kind of subverts your expectations. A
well,
little.
I was going to say that it's like a suicide mission where you get to know these characters. I'm thinking of like Mass Effect at
Oh,
the
yeah.
end of Mass Effect. And it's just like these characters who you kind of get to know. I mean, to be fair, they're not super well fleshed out, but just kind of see them all get picked up. I don't take joy in watching them die, but kind of just seeing them all play their role.
They play their
in
role
the-
to the end.
for the mission. It's like I really like. It's kind of like a Magnificent Seven. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I don't
one.
really care for the characters, so when they die, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, and fair enough. I think the characters are all kind of unique enough. Don Yen, I love him. The other guy with the blaster, Alan Tudyk as the droid. I don't know. I think the characters are all unique enough, and then you got the main Cassian and
I think they do
Jin Erso and whatever.
Yeah, and I like all the characters, and I feel like they do a really good job of kind of like setting the scene where the stakes are like so high, but it's kind of like futile in the end because like the Death Star does end up being made, but like the Death Star in its infancy being shown like destroying like a whole city with like 10% of its power, you're like, that's crazy. It's like it's very cool to see how the Death Star is and like with modern technology and special effects and stuff.
I also like the way it kind of explained the vulnerability in the Death Star, like how it was built into it by
right. Yeah,
I think
that's a great way to.
I think you could argue that that's bad writing. I personally like it. I think it's kind of clever take, and so I would put, if I had to rank it, I would put it at. I would probably still. I mean, I don't want to praise it too much. I would probably put it at a B.
I have nothing. I don't remember it at all.
Even though it has good Darth Vader moments, which they brought back, and I feel like we should mention it since it's a Star Wars episode. R.I.P. James Earl Jones. He did a fantastic job as Darth Vader.
Yeah,
so menacing presence.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
R.I.P.
Darth Vader wouldn't be as cool if it wasn't for James Earl Jones.
True.
So I would say, but even though it has a cool moment, I don't really care about the characters. Don't really care enough. I give it a D tier.
D tier. Wow.
I would probably, if I thought long hard about it, I would probably give it a B tier.
Low B, high C. I would say.
I'd say low B.
Low B.
I think
an
low
A,
B.
1 A, 2 B's, and a D. That
Low B.
low B.
Okay, low B. Then The Last Jedi. Star Wars The Last Jedi, directed by Rian Johnson.
A lot of mixed feelings
So,
about this one.
Yeah.
I am a fan of The Last Jedi besides the Canto Bite stuff with Finn and Rose. Besides that, sign me up.
That was such a weird, unnecessary side quest for them to go on.
I do really like the end where they're on the salt planet.
Mm-hmm.
Very visually.
Like,
great. Yeah. It's salt.
Yeah. It's not snow. We're not.
we already did that on Hoth.
Yeah. I think that's very visually cool because it's got like the red underneath.
Yeah.
I don't like Rose, how she stops. Who's it? Finn?
Yeah, Finn from dying, which might have been a good like hero moment for Finn.
Yeah.
But she was like, we can't kill the things we hate. We gotta save the things we love, or some
Then
cringe line.
Shut up.
And then she kisses Finn, and it's just a really like I'm
he's
sorry.
just expressionless. It's just like,
He's like, anyway.
that was weird. I'm still alive.
how do we feel about Luke's death?
I like them trying to kind of like change things up that way, but there was always a part of me that wished he had kind of gone the traditional like, I'll be your mentor type, and like build the Jedi Order like in Legends and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think it works. I don't have a problem with what they did with Luke. I would agree with Riley. Like I like more than I don't like about it.
What about the throne room? I remember thinking this throne room scene with like you must kill your true enemy. I was like, jaw was on the floor in theaters, but then in hindsight, apparently the fight scene is
they
really bad.
Watch a video that picked apart the
I
fight
shouldn't
scene.
have watched that because it's so bad.
Yeah,
The fight scene is not good because like the choreography. I'm a big choreography guy, and just like the guards in the back room are just spinning when they don't get kicked.
Well,
and-
would any of us have noticed that if not for the video?
I feel like on a rewatch, maybe.
Maybe
I don't
on a
know if
rewatch,
I
but
would have
when
changed.
we were in the theater, like it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when like Kylo Ren throws the lightsaber and she like grabs it. Boom,
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I do ultimately like that scene. I like the red like.
I like Rey and Kylo team up.
But I also think like they set up Kylo Ren at the end of this movie to be the big bad for the next one, and guess what? The next one does. So I'm like, it's still like.
But that's the next movie.
Yeah, but like the things they set up don't pay off, and I'm just like watching it. I'm
But
like,
if they set it up in a satisfying way, you got to give them that movie credit for it and just knock the next one.
but
I would say
What do you guys think of the scene where they light speed through the ship?
Oh, very cool.
that's like that's when we're talking about like from a cinematic perspective.
Yeah.
That is
It just goes silent.
that is a well crafted scene.
I'm glad you agree. I was afraid that you would be like potentially other people like on YouTube are like, that was the stupidest scene of the
Oh,
entire
Well,
no,
I
that
mean,
was-
say what you
that
will
was a
about
very-
the logic of it
very
or whatever.
impactful
It just
moment.
it's a
Yeah.
cool. It looks cool and it sounds cool, or it doesn't sound cool if you know
Where
what I
did
mean.
where did we put the Force Awakens? B.
B.
I think the Last Jedi goes low B.
I think I was going to say high C.
What are you gonna say?
Low B.
Low,
Well, I don't know. Maybe C, because I just hate how the whole plot is just two ships slowly, like, tailing each other.
Mm.
The whole,
Yeah.
like, that's kind of a weird set. I don't know. I feel like the payoff
I'll probably say B.
low B.
High C.
I see.
So high C.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
should we?
We'll say high C because we don't have anything in C tier yet.
We have two things in C
yeah.
tier. All right,
Then
you get the honors.
Solo, Star Wars story.
They are so back.
Mm-hmm.
I have I've not seen it, so I can't actually say anything.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I
have not seen it.
I remember I've seen it once. It's been a few years. Before I watched it, I was like, people hate this movie, and I watched it and I had a fun time.
I think I agree.
It does a little too much in the origins movie aspect as far as feeling like they need to give a reference to every single thing related to Han Solo. Like that was not necessary, but some of them are pretty cool.
And probably the dumbest thing in Star Wars ever is giving him his name, like showing how he got his name, and the way he got his name is really dumb.
I kind of forgot about that.
We've
honestly.
talked about that on this podcast.
Yeah.
I do like the scene where he's like conscripted into the Imperial Army, and they like drop him off on like the super World War One-esque
Mhm.
kind of like battlegrounds.
That's where he meets Chewie, isn't
and he
it?
kind of, I feel like he
Mm.
kind of gets like a little PTSD type, from that. And I think that
Do we
was
think
cool.
Ellen Reich does a good job? As Han
Yeah,
Solo?
I mean he's not Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Which
What was weird was the girlfriend robot of Donald Glover. I thought that was kind of weird how she was.
I'll
Like,
be honest, I don't really remember much of it.
I've only seen it once in theaters, but
Is it memorable enough to be in the upper echelons?
no.
I think it's just fun.
I think
was so
I think it's
disappointed.
a safe C tier.
Yeah. I was so
Low
excited
tier?
Is it
when
low
Darth
C?
Maul showed up at the end, for that to continue, like
Yeah.
his crime organization from the Clone Wars to be in the movies.
So low
Right,
C.
We'll say low C.
Yeah, it's too bad because it's really just a fine movie, but it's just not that memorable.
Yeah.
The last movie. Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
Tell you what, if it was again based off theater experiences, we would all be like, that was the best Star Wars movie. We gave
All
it
of us were very
Yeah.
4.5
hype
stars
about it.
in
Yeah.
2019 after it came out.
I was a
And-
fool.
Okay, well, like let's
I don't
put a
think
pause
that's
there.
fair.
Let's why did we give it 4.5 stars?
It was the theater experience, and I'm sure it's like all you guys loved it. I'm like,
Are you blaming us?
I guess I love it too.
We
No,
gaslit
yeah,
you
yeah,
into
yeah.
liking
Yeah.
Star Wars episode.
I have not seen it since we saw it in theater, so
I
it's
haven't
like
either.
it's hard to. I mean, obviously, all the somehow Palpatine returned, and
I mean, when you kind of like dive into the behind the curtain and how J.J. Abrams just had to scrap together a story.
Like,
Like-
the whole beginning sequence was just like him finding the curmudgeon, or what is it called? The item that you have to find.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
MacGuffin.
holocron.
But I saw
Yes,
it
yes.
twice in theaters. In my second theater experience, I'm like, man, I
Because
don't
we
like
weren't with
this
you.
movie. Huh?
you just missed us.
Yeah, maybe.
You're like, where are my friends?
Because we were talking about this, and you put this in like F tier.
This is my least favorite Star Wars movie.
I haven't watched it since we saw it in theaters, but I think on a rewatch, I don't think I would put it as low as F tier. I think knowing all of the flaws that it has, you can still have a fun time with it. I think
Is there any cool scenes that remain, even if it's like
Well,
logically out of left field?
They try to do like the Avengers Endgame, like recreation scene.
But there's no build-up for that. Like, it's
Yeah.
just a bunch of random ships,
Ship,
and you later
yeah.
find out that they're like, oh, that ship's from Rebels. And
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
like,
And then she hears all the Jedi, which would have been a lot cool if she saw all the Jedi in like ghost form.
yeah,
I'm not a fan of Kylo Ren redemption, and I don't like the
Mm.
kiss at all
this is weird.
because I was always a Finn and Rey. I was hoping they would get
Mm.
together, and
I think Exegol as a planet was like really cool and scary, and like the whole Sith like little cultists in the background were like kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like Yeah, it kind of undermines the whole chosen one prophecy for Anakin, how he like defeated the Emperor ultimately.
Yeah,
And then he comes back
true.
as a little Force ghost. He's like, as I did, defeat him
that's
like me.
I remember prior to this coming out, we're like, Hayden Christensen's going to be in this movie.
I know, and I was so
It's
hyped.
so cool. And then he has one line.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think. I mean, I'd be comfortable putting it in D tier.
I think that's a solid D tier then.
I can.
And the
That's
knife
fine.
artifact that like has
Yeah.
the shape of the Death
The
Star.
Death Star
wreckage.
So
wreckage.
many conveniences, and I also like. I don't mind like the force telepathy.
Teleportation.
Not teleportation.
Force
like
healing?
The Kylo Ren and Rey had in the Last Jedi. They could
Yeah,
talk to each other.
Oh, that.
That's a thing in like KOTOR and stuff too.
Yeah, but in like this movie, they could bring items from the
Yeah,
the vision
I don't know. To me, that's just like it's the Force.
and the healing. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it depends on how in the weeds you are with like
Yeah.
Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like the force healing thing, everyone's like, that would have been good to have for
Yeah,
all of the Star Wars
But then
movies.
Grogu does it in The Mandalorian, and
Everyone's
everyone's
like,
like,
oh my
"Yes,
gosh, peak.
the baby Yoda."
But then they're like, okay, C3PO, you're gonna have to like erase all your memory or something. Like you're be
Yeah.
deactivated, and then like
Yeah,
It's like,
Bobby
yeah,
Freak.
yeah, they're mourning the loss of C-3PO, and then he just gets all of his memories
I'm
back.
like
yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Let's-
I just don't think it's F tier.
D tier.
D tier.
That's the last
That's
one. Pretty content with that list.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
I think Rogue One's a little high, but yeah.
That's why it's a collective list. All right.
You just like start.
Yep.
We'll just fix that real quick.
And we're gonna go put this right here.
All right, what a fun tier list. We're going to go ahead and move into the concluding segment. We're going to do some trivia. And we're going to do some Star Wars trivia.
We are, yeah. We're taking a break from the showdown between Mino and Riley. And
pause.
so we're hitting a pause on that. I think I announced last week that we're doing movie first for trivia. That'll be the next episode, but this week we're doing
Star Wars. There's no stakes here. So the goal is
bragging
to have fun. Yeah. If you don't win, Lucas, then you're not coming back.
I understand.
Okay. We got 5 questions and a bonus question. Can we get a buzzer check?
Beep.
Zib.
I think something's wrong with your buzzer.
All right. Question number 1.
And then if we buzz in, Noah will stop reading the question.
Yeah. You have to, and then
So you can interrupt the question if you
yes,
Okay.
that has been established. Question number 1. We get the iconic "Hello there" from Obi-Wan when he makes a surprise entrance against General Grievous after arriving on this planet. Josiah.
Utapau.
That is correct.
Well done.
Question number 2. During the Battle of Yavin, this pilot, call sign Red 6, was unfortunately shot down due to...
Beep.
Riley.
Porkins.
That is correct.
Yeah. What's his first name?
I looked it up. It was Jack.
Or Jack, yeah.
J-E-K. Question number 3. After meeting Finn and Rey aboard the Eravana, Han and Chewie have a run-in with these rival gangs who put their differences aside in order to team up to collect Han's 50,000 credit loan. Name one of the gangs. Lucas.
The Haxan Brood.
Incorrect.
Oh, heck, that sounds cool though.
Brood was one of the
Haxan
names.
I got nothing.
That could be something completely different.
I would have got this right because I just have recalled one of these names, but the other one I didn't know.
I don't. I feel like it's there, but I can't pull it.
I'm going to say it and you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't
5,
get
4, 3, 2, 1. Kanji Club / the Guavian Death Gang.
It's
Which
the Kanji Club.
Kanji
Where
Club.
did yours come
It's
from?
Haxan Brood for
Yeah.
real. That might
From
be
like
that might-
Helldivers or something.
No, that might be from like Knights of the Old Republic or something.
Oh,
like that.
Okay.
yeah.
Question 4. When Mace Windu arrives on Geonosis with the cavalry to rescue Obi-Wan and
Zip.
Lucas.
This party's over.
That is correct.
No way.
Yes.
That was
That's nice.
the fact that you knew exactly where that was going. Kudos.
That's all I got.
You got to say, you got to do it in his voice.
This party's over.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
I'm,
It's a tie
you
game
buzzed,
right now.
You buzzed
Yeah.
in, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, Lucas. You're not going to." And then
that's
you got it right.
incorrect.
So, okay. Last question, because bonus question doesn't count. Question number 5. After obtaining a Sith dagger, Rey, Finn, and the gang enlist the help of this Anzelon, who is able to bypass C-3PO's programming restrictions.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I was going to say,
I think I had
No
that one.
way.
Yeah.
No, you don't just say that. Rock, paper,
You
scissors.
had last one. I think we were both at the same.
No.
rock, paper, scissors. It was the same time.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Why do we always do this? Always go rock. Riley.
Babu freak.
That is correct.
excellent
I
job.
told you. I told you last time. You always go rock with Riley.
I didn't think about it. I
Let's
just did
go.
Riley wins with 2.
Nice.
And then we do have a bonus question here. Bonus question. Because Disney can't just be cool with something, they canonically renamed this ship to Fire Spray. Josiah.
What is the Slave One?
That is correct.
Fire spray?
Fire Spray. Though I'm sure Boba
That's
Fett would
really
agree, the
dumb.
original name was much cooler. Because, God forbid, we have the word slave in our franchise.
Yeah, the slavery is such a huge part of Star
I
Wars.
think I didn't
Anakin
really
was a slave.
dive into the
Exactly.
weeds on that. I think canonically there's a reason why they changed the name, but
yeah,
it's Slave One is
it'll always be slave one to me.
yeah. You're my Slave One.
You're my slave.
Congratulations, Riley. You win this episode's
Thank
you.
Star
Thank
Wars
you.
trivia.
Congratulations, Riley.
It does
Thank you.
not sit well with me. No, sir.
Though I have to say, Lucas getting that question right is the
That
most
is-
impressive.
yeah.
That's all.
That's
I
the
have.
MVP moment. Riley won, but
Yes.
Lucas is MVP. All
All right,
right.
take that.
Very good. Well, Lucas, very, very glad you were able to join us on this
Yeah,
fine
woohoo.
episode.
I was very happy to be a part of it. I always watched from afar and wish that I could be geographically closer so I
Yeah.
could join in on the fun. So I'm glad I was able to come.
Very good.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you to the viewer, to you for watching, tuning in, and liking and subscribing and all that fun stuff, commenting why Riley is not good at trivia.
Excuse
Okay.
me? Me just one?
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
And
May the
next
force be
time.
with you.
nice.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
Got a lot of hate comments for that.
we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
See ya.
Peace.
See ya.